Welcome clients and guests to my channel. I'm Jason Serro and I'm a licensed professional counselor. My videos are designed to educate and empower you to make informed decisions about your mental health. It is not what happens to you that increases your risk level for depression. It's how you interpret and respond to what happened to you. How you assign meaning and value to what has happened to you. The first risk factor for depression is the attributional style, which is a pattern of how people unconsciously and reflexively interpret the significance of events. For example, two people are let go from their job because the company is making cuts. One person is able to handle it adequately, move on, and look for another job, while the other takes it personally and believes they did something wrong, and now thinks that the world is against them, which is referred to as global thinking. Why do two people who experience the same event respond so differently? Their interpretations of the event were different. The second risk factor for depression is that you equate feelings with facts. Your feelings are not facts, so do not use your feelings as the reference point for making decisions. You can think things are better than they really are, and they can be worse than they really are. Basing your decisions on your feelings is deceiving because emotions can be fleeting and change rapidly. Making a decision to do something on a Monday because you feel like it, and then Saturday comes and you don't feel like it now. Why did I commit to that thing on Monday? Use your wise self, which is a DBT strategy, and do the things you know that will be beneficial to you regardless of how you feel about it. You can also utilize the experimental technique from CBT, cognitive behavioral therapy, and think of the distinctions between facts and inferences. Here's an example. I think my friend will say they can't spend time with me and hang out tonight because really, I don't even like spending time with me, so how can I expect them to say yes? The facts reveal that every time I ask them to hang out, they say yes and we have a great time. Another example is your friend hasn't called you back in several hours. You start to infer that their silence must mean that they hate you, you're a boring friend, and a bad time. I must have done something wrong. Look for alternative possibilities and practice cognitive flexibility, not cognitive rigidity. Maybe she needs to wake up early for work tomorrow. She has 2 kids and they can be a handful, so maybe she got caught up with some parenting stuff. The third risk factor for depression is poor decision-making skills. Are you making decisions that irritate and complicate depression? A poor decision would be that you don't prioritize helpful things and go to the gym. And in fact, exercise matches the effectiveness of antidepressants and has a lower relapse rate. Or go to the doctor and seek treatment for your ailments. Or you continue to drink alcohol. While it is difficult to prove whether alcohol use or depression is the antecedent and consequent, there is a possibility that alcohol and depression are reciprocally related by a feedback loop in which alcohol use increases the risk of depression, while at the same time the onset of depression leads to an increased alcohol consumption. A number of studies have shown that alcohol abuse is frequently comorbid, which is the presence of 2 or more conditions simultaneously, with major depression. So what you can start to do is visualize yourself being physically active, along with building an inner narrative that focuses on why this physical exercise will help you feel better. You'll be able to move your body in spaces more freely, be able to pick up that piece of furniture more effortlessly, be able to get down and up from the floor while playing with your animals or kids. Your clothes will fit you better. Put a picture of you being active on the refrigerator to serve as a reminder. The fourth risk factor for depression is rumination. This is analyzing without action, having thought loops about things that produce anxiety, depression, and sleeping issues. If you want to learn more about anxiety, I have a video on it that goes into great detail. The brain doesn't stop working, it's working overtime and it's exhausting. This is why it's suggested that you get up out of bed and do something else if you are tossing and turning and can't sleep. Timely and effective action is required to stop the rumination. The antidote to rumination is action. People often ruminate about relationships from the past, They use the past to predict their future, say things like, I'll never be happy, never have been, I'll never get a good job or find someone who loves me. You are more than your misery. The fifth factor for depression is incorrect, or what we call twisted thinking. And it's using words and phrases that are too general, all-encompassing and factually incorrect. A bad day turns into life is unfair. Your boss has a stressful day, is moody. You think it's because of you, and now you think they hate you. You get a C on an exam or paper, and now you're an academic failure. You're having difficulty finding a decent job, and now you've convinced yourself you're going to end up homeless and on the streets. You get rejected or turned down for a date, and now you're all of a sudden unlovable. The weather turns bad quickly, and you can never catch a break. Nothing ever goes your way. You and your partner get into a fight, and you tell them that they're always on their phone or that they never tell you they love you. Here are some solutions. Identify your global phrases in one column and the specific steps involved for each phrase in another column. For example, grocery shopping is the global phrase. Inputting a list of the food and drinks into your phone, determining how much time you'll need to shop, will they be delivered to your home or will you go there, are all specific steps to break down your global phrase. The more specific you get, the better at problem solving you become. Learning the sequence of events helps orient within yourself, your positioning within others, and the events of life much more effectively. The sixth risk factor for depression is setting unrealistic expectations and ignoring the evidence. We make a lot of should statements. You should have known that. I should have been able to complete all 8,000 items on my checklist today. It should work out exactly as I planned. Should statements make us feel conflicted, stuck, overwhelmed, and sometimes paralyzed. Do a fair analysis of your thoughts on how something should be and what reality proves to you. If your friend shows up late to lunch 3 times in a row, it's safe to assume they'll be late the 4th time. An unrealistic expectation would be they should be on time. Denial plays a big role in admitting the reality of things because it takes effort to live according to a changing belief. We oftentimes refuse to believe our partner is incapable of being specific characteristics to the extent we envision wanting them to be. They should be able to fit into my nice world of what I need them to be. Pay attention to the evidence of what they show you, not on the fragile and idealistic notions of what they should be doing. What's the old saying? When someone shows you who they are, believe them. Head over to volume 3 on my dialectical behavioral therapy video where I cover mindfulness in depth. Thank you for watching, and as always, be where you are, be resilient.